everyone and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be exploring nitrogen cycle NCERT revision. Now this is going to be made really easy so that some of the syllabus before you might know a little bit. So we're going to be building on top of that. So it should be really basic for you and will be easy for you to understand. So let me grab my pen and let's move right straight into it. So let's go next. I want to ask you a question. What do we need to survive? You might be like, food, water, and oxygen, right? Well, the answer is no. Or well, you need more than that. Did you forget about the most important thing? Wait, just let me play this. Which is nitrogen. Don't forget that. This is a very important gas that we need to survive. Let me tell you what's the problem with nitrogen. First, let's see why do we need nitrogen. Now, we need nitrogen for amino acid. Now, amino acid is the base of DNAs, right? It's the base of life. Amino acid is the most important acid in our body, so we need it. We need it. We really need it. Now, nitrogen is a form of responsible for creating amino acid, and that's where we get amino acid from. So how do we get nitrogen? Now we can't inhale nitrogen, so who will help us? Nature will help us. How is it going to help us? There is nitrogen fixation, in which the atmospheric nitrogen, which is not something that we can get, is converted into ammonia, from which we can get it. Let's see how. So basically, the atmospheric nitrogen gets into the soil. Now, there are bacteria and there are lots of other things. Now, the main bacteria responsible for doing this is rhizobium. Rhizobium is there in the soil and it helps in breaking down, not really breaking it down, but getting the nitrogen and converting it into ammonia and other type of nitrates and stuff like that, which we can get. Now, how do we get it? Well, rhizobium is present on the nodules of plants. So if you have a plant over here, these are the roots, and this is where the nodules are. And there's where rhizobium is. So guess what? We get it from the plants. The plants first absorb the nitrogen or the ammonium, that the rhizobium has created for them, and then the ammonium acid is transported all across the plant. So they have got food. Now, that plant is now eaten by us. For example, let's take spinach is carrying this process out. By the way, rhizobium is only present in the plants like beans and stuff like that, and like kidney beans. I forgot the name for that, but something like that. But they're only present in those kind of stuff. But let's take spinach for example. Will spinach have rhizobium? No. Then how do we get nitrogen from spinach? There are blue and green algae, which also do the same stuff, but for other types of plants. So if we eat spinach, we get nitrogen, because spinach has nitrogen, so we can get it. Let's move on. Now there's a very important cycle called the nitrogen cycle, which is our main topic for this video. Now we've understood all of that, all of the basic stuff. Now comes to the nitrogen cycle, which builds on nitrogen fixation. So let's go here. And what we've got so far is the nitrogen gas getting into the green plants and then getting into us so far. But if we keep taking all the nitrogen from the atmosphere, how will we, how won't it run out? It will run out, right? If we keep taking it and not returning it back. Well, nature has its own secrets, which is we do return it back. How do we return it back? That's the question. Now, we return it back that when things die, they get buried in the ground and then they decompose. Now, there are these denitrifying bacteria which steal the nitrogen from us and then they convert it into nitrogen gas and shoot it up to the air. So now, what have we done? We have got a cycle. So from the gas to us, back to the bacteria, and back into the atmosphere. So that's our cycle which keeps going and going and going. So, hope you understood the nitrogen cycle. Let's move on. And guess what? It's the end. That's how a nitrogen cycle is. It's a very basic kind of stuff. And it's very easy, right? It's not such a big deal. So now you can brag to your friends that I know the nitrogen cycle. Hope you understood everything. Hope you learned something new. And I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and bye-bye.